Here is Trump hinting that he might run again. And again, this has the value of freezing in some respects. It creates a paralysis on the in the Republican Party. So I think that's very helpful in that respect. There was at one point Mario Cuomo was teasing the idea that he may run, he might not run, and he wanted to hang in there. Donald Trump is going to wait to the very, very last minute. If he doesn't decide to run, he's going to wait until the very last minute, because he knows that as soon as there is a new nominee for the Republican Party, he is done. And he doesn't want to be done. He wants the attention. Here is clip number 5, Donald Trump from CPAC in Orlando, Florida.
But who knows? Who knows? I may even decide to beat them for a third time, okay? Beat them for a third time. Joe Biden defunded the border wall.
You know what I also noticed? No masks.
Yeah.
And he beat Joe Biden 3 times?
Then they'll beat them, meaning the Democrats, for a third time, because he won in 2016. He won in 2020, which he repeated over and over. I won the election. I won the election.
Of course.
Right. And then he's saying that he might run for a third time, and the crowd melts collectively. Their heads explode. Eyeballs just rolling all over the floor. They evaporate into mist and ascend into heaven. It's ecstasy, orgasms all over CPAC.
Hell yeah. I mean, I think it'll be pretty funny if he does that. He could win. We've been ping-ponging back and forth between these two crappy political parties in our two-party system. Things are not getting better for people. 4 years later, they're gonna be like, oh, well, the swing voters, they're like, oh, we'll try the other guy. And the Democrats are going to keep on trying to impeach him. He's going to keep on doing various crimes. It's never going to work. And it's just going to be that way forever.
I mean, I think he could definitely win the Republican primary.
Oh, for sure.
And
I think he's the favorite if he runs,
well, sure,
by multiple times over.
70% of Republican voters in a poll said that they would consider joining a new party started by Donald Trump.
He has cast a spell. He's cast a spell over them.
He did make it clear, though, that he wasn't going to start a third party. He said the Democrats would love him to start a third party because they would just be voting against each other, and they would split the vote and the Democrats would win, which is true. That is what third parties do. Particularly on the presidential level, it would be a guaranteed loss. But look, it's not hard to imagine. And of course, so much depends on what Joe Biden does. I think, so much depends on what Joe Biden does, and so much depends on what happens after, if there is a continued success, because they're having success in terms of the vaccination rollout. If there's continued success of the vaccination rollout and et cetera, et cetera. But if Joe Biden can't run and or doesn't do well, and you got to go up against it's Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris.
Oh God.
Putting aside just generically, even if Biden does well, Donald Trump is, going to be able to run the drum up racism, misogyny. Misogyny may be even more effective. Playbook again. Now, I don't think that he would win, but it's not like, let's put it this way. I don't feel comfortable saying he would win or he would lose at that point. there's so many different factors. Who knows, even if he's able, if he's
Versus Kamala Harris, that might be tight.
She's a cold fish.
She really has
won 0 states in the primary. Not even like nobody likes her. She has no organic base.
I mean, Joe Biden did pretty miserably too in every time he ran for president, except for the time he won. I mean, he did.
Yeah, but I mean this, just aesthetically, Kamala Harris really does like. Biden is a person people like.
Yeah, no, I got news for you.
He got people to
Joe
vote
Biden
for him
was
in the primary.
People did not like. Before he was vice president, people did not like him. He was, I mean,
right, but she's not gonna be that like BFF organic like meme board.
She's not gonna get that Obama bump. Basically.
Exactly, she's not gonna be able to be Obama's vice president. That's really what
but
Biden
who
got.
knows?
That's what I'm.
4 years from now, what Biden does, maybe she gets a bump from being Biden's vice president.
No, she's not, because it's not. He doesn't have that same oomph. He doesn't have the hearts of the Democratic base in the way that Obama did, and he doesn't have the cachet of and the incredible importance of being the first Black president. And that's like we talked about this a lot. Southern Black voters did really resonate with the fact that Biden was the first Black president's vice president. They've talked about that and the importance of that, in studies about what happened in the election. So I just don't know if that she has the same.
I
don't
know
unless maybe
either,
Joe Biden will pass some transformative legislation to get us out of the COVID recession, and then everyone will love him like he's FDR. But I'm not going to hold my breath for that.
Hey, I'll take that. If Biden does if Biden is FDR 2, I'll vote for Kamala in 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's
same.
what I'm saying. I think a big part of this is going to be what Biden does and what it's perceived that he has done. Right. I mean, it's just lip service, but it's not nothing. His support of coming out for supporting the unionization in Alabama, and if
the PRO Act would be great, cherry on top of that.
Exactly. I mean, so much is going to be a function of like how much of the filibuster reform are we going to see? What's going to be? They've got 2 more reconciliation bills. $1.9 trillion bill where none of it involves tax cuts, none of it involves like massive lending backstop to corporations. You're going to see the extension of the $400, the $1,400 checks. It's not $2,000, but it's still going to be $1,400, and it's still going to cover more people than the $1,200 did and the $600 did. And we saw the impact of those checks, particularly the $1,200 one was pretty significant. And so, I think people are going to be bummed for a while. They didn't get the $2,000 check. It seems like a huge sort of like a political failure, but it's not inconceivable to me that people are going to perceive Joe Biden as having brought them some material benefit. At least the 70 odd million people who voted for him
I'm just less confident than you about Kamala Harris.
I'm not expressing confidence. I'm not expressing confidence. So much of it, I think, has to do with the way people perceive Biden.
Well, she
who knows
botched
where Trump's going to be either in 4 years in terms of like physically.
She had a chance to deliver on a $15 minimum wage, and she botched that up.
Yeah, I suspect that she wasn't going to go against what the White House said. I mean, that was really more a White House decision.
Well, yeah, she really doesn't have politics.
But that's the point of like, that's the position the White House is going to put her in. And like, I don't know if Biden does do the PRO Act and some of these big things, I think that changes it. I guess, less confident that that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't have a huge amount of confidence of that, but it's going to be interesting to
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting. I wouldn't bet either way at this point, but yeah, I wonder if Donald Trump is actually going to run. It's going to be a function. Like there's so much, 3 years, and particularly at his age, things can change.
I would bet that he's not going to if I was going to take the bet right now, but he's going to make us think that he will for
Without a
the
doubt.
attention and for all the reasons. He's going to bask in this for eternity.
Yeah, he's raised $250 million since the election.
This is the
I
new grip.
decided to deploy that money in a different way. Not so much for the running, because I thought that would be a waste. I thought, let's develop a campaign headquarters that also has a golf course. I will live there. And then I decided not to run. So that money's going somewhere.
I could see it happening, and it's going to be hilarious when it does.
It'd be funny if he just paid off all of his lifetime of debts and then lived a very simple life.
Exactly. I just
Moves
want
to
to
a
relax.
farm and just, throws it.
Yeah, get some rescue goats, maybe some pigs.
Seems in his character.